Commander Elias Vance stood on the surface of Valthera, a world unlike any he had seen before. Tall silver trees shimmered in the sunlight. The air was fresh, almost musical, filled with the hum of nature and soft winds. Birds with crystal wings flew overhead, and the grass beneath his boots felt soft like velvet. This was not just another mission. This was first contact with the Orolith, one of the most secretive and advanced alien species in the galaxy. No human had ever spoken to them face to face. And yet here he was, Earth's chosen diplomat, invited to their world with open arms. The Orolith were known for one thing above all: their deep emotional intelligence. They could feel emotions as clearly as others saw colors. Some said they could even see memories through someone's eyes. Many humans didn't believe that, but Elias had always been open to wonder. He walked slowly toward the meeting hall, a structure made from glowing stone and hanging plants that moved like they were alive. Behind him, his AI assistant, Nira, hovered silently, scanning the environment. Inside, the Orolith leaders stood in a graceful half-circle. Their appearance was both strange and beautiful. Tall, almost transparent skin with a faint glow, eyes that shifted colors with their feelings, and long hair that floated like it was underwater. One of them stepped forward. A woman. She was different from the others. Her glow was softer. Her eyes, a deep violet, fixed on Elias the moment he entered. Her name was Serenia. Elias bowed politely. "I am honored to be here," he said. The Orolith used no translator device. Instead, Serenia placed her hand gently over her chest and nodded. She stepped closer. For a moment, everything went quiet. Even Naira paused her systems, unsure of what was happening. Serenia looked straight into Elias's eyes. Her pupils widened. Her glow brightened for just a second, and then dimmed. A tear rolled down her cheek, then another. She covered her mouth and gasped, stepping back like she had seen something painful, something too much to bear. The other Orolith looked confused, concerned. One of them moved to her side, whispering in their soft language. Elias froze. He hadn't moved. He hadn't said anything wrong. Why was she crying? I'm sorry, Serenia whispered in perfect English, her voice trembling. I didn't expect. She turned and walked out quickly, her hands shaking. Elias stood in silence, stunned. The Orolith Council ended the meeting immediately after, promising they would speak again soon. He was escorted back to his guest quarters without explanation. Back in his room, Elias paced the floor, mind racing. He had trained for every kind of reaction: anger, fear, curiosity, but not tears. What had she seen? Why had she looked at him like that? What had she recognized in his eyes? Nira, he said. Replay the moment. Her exact words. Her body, language. Naira's soft voice responded. Her emotions spiked the moment she made eye contact. Facial scans show a reaction similar to deep grief or shock. But she said, I didn't expect. Expect what? I do not know, Naira replied. But she looked at you as if she had seen a ghost. That night, Elias couldn't sleep. The stars above Valthera glowed gently through the window, but his mind was full of questions. Who was Serenia? Why? Had she cried? And most importantly, what had she seen in his eyes? Commander Elias Vance sat alone in his quiet guest quarters, staring at the glowing ceiling. The Orolith had not contacted him again since the strange meeting. No messages, no explanations, nothing from Serenia. Outside his window, the Valtheran sky shimmered in soft blues and golds. Most would find peace in this view, but Elias felt restless. He kept hearing Serenia's voice in his head. I didn't expect. What hadn't she expected? He needed answers. Naira, Elias said, sitting up. Do a scan of the Orolith communication network. Any signs of activity related to Serenia? Nira replied gently. Most communications are encrypted. However, I did detect an unusual data pulse directed to her private channel 2 hours ago. Content unknown. She's hiding something, Elias muttered. Or maybe protecting something. Just then, a small sound came from his desk. It was a soft chime like a bell made of light. He turned to see a strange object, a folded note glowing faintly. He hadn't seen anyone enter the room. He picked it up carefully. The paper was smooth, almost like silk. A message was written in it, in ancient Terran English, a language barely used for over 3 centuries. You carry the echo of her name. Elias's heart skipped a beat. The handwriting was delicate, like it belonged to someone who had practiced each stroke. Naira analyzed the handwriting. It matches no known records, Nira replied. But the ink contains rare compounds found only on Valthera. This note was written here. Elias stared at the message. Her name? Whose name? And what was the echo? Suddenly a memory returned. Years ago, during his early training, he had read about a secret Unity project, something buried deep in history. What was it called? Project Echoheart. He rushed to his tablet and started searching the Unity archives. Most files were locked under high clearance, but Elias had certain privileges. As a top-level diplomat, he could access old data logs that even most scientists couldn't. After several minutes, he found it. Project Echoheart, a genetic research program from over 200 years ago. Its goal was to embed emotional memories into human DNA. The idea was to pass down feelings, love, fear, courage, from generation to generation. The project had been canceled. People feared it was unnatural. Many believed it had been destroyed. Completely. But what if it had worked? Nira, Elias whispered. Scan my DNA. Search for any signs of embedded memory patterns. Are you sure, Commander? Nira asked. This could take several hours. Do it, he said firmly, and search for any connection to the name Serenia might have recognized. While the scan ran in the background, Elias sat back thinking. Maybe Serenia had seen more than just his face. The Orolith were emotional beings. What if she had seen a memory inside him, something passed down from long ago? Maybe someone he had never met. 2 hours later, Naira gave the results. Commander, I have completed the analysis, she said. Your DNA contains a dormant sequence that matches the structure used in Project Echoheart. It is active in your emotional cortex. The pattern includes memory fragments. Can we access them? Only through deep neural sync, Naira said. But I can extract a name. Elias sat up straight. What name? Naira paused for a second. Then she spoke. Dr. Mara Vance. Elias froze. That name was not in any of his family stories. But the last name, Vance, was his own. She could be a distant ancestor, Elias said slowly. Maybe the first one to carry the emotional code. Naira added. Dr. Mara Vance was listed as a peace ambassador during the early Unity expansion. Years. Her name appears briefly in lost expedition files, last seen near the Valthera sector. Elias's breath caught in his throat. What if Serenia had known her? What if Serenia had seen Mara's memory in his eyes? That would explain the tears, the shock, the message. Elias stared at the folded note once again. You carry the echo of her name. Now it was starting to make sense, but it also meant something else. Something bigger. Someone had known Elias was coming. Someone had waited for Mara Vance's echo to return, and the only person who could give him the full truth was Serenia. The soft hum of the Valtheran night filled Commander Elias Vance's quarters. Outside, the twin moons of Valthera cast pale light over the silver trees, making the leaves shimmer like stars. But Elias's mind was far from peaceful. He kept turning the strange note over in his hands. You carry the echo of her name. The name, Dr. Mara Vance, repeated itself in his thoughts like a distant song. Who was she? And why had Serenia reacted so strongly upon seeing him? Elias stared at the small console in the corner. His AI assistant, Nira, was still working quietly, analyzing every detail of his genetic data. The discovery of Project Echo Heart had opened a new door, one he never expected to walk through. "Naira," Elias said quietly, "is it possible for me to experience any memories from this project? Can I see what Mara saw or felt?" Naira's voice was calm and steady. "The encoded memory fragments in your genome are not fully accessible by current human technology. However, with neural interface synchronization, limited emotional and sensory impressions may be retrieved." "Prepare the neural sync equipment," Elias ordered. "I want to try it." Within minutes, Naira had set up the neural interface, a sleek headset with soft contact points designed to connect directly to his brain's emotional centers. Elias closed his eyes as the device activated, a faint electric pulse traveling through his temples. At first there was only darkness, then slowly images flickered like old film reels. He saw a woman, tall and strong, with determined eyes. She wore a silver uniform with the emblem of Earth's Unity Alliance. She was standing in a ship's control room surrounded by stars. The woman's voice echoed softly in his mind. "We must protect Valthera. The future of both our species depends on it." Elias realized he was seeing the memories of Mara Vance. The woman moved through a crowd of alien diplomats. She smiled gently at them, speaking words Elias could not fully understand. He felt her courage, her hope, but also her fear. Suddenly, the images changed. Explosions, screaming alarms. The ship shook violently. Mara was running through corridors, trying to save her team. Then a bright light, and silence. The connection broke. Elias gasped and opened his eyes. Sweat beaded on his forehead. "Naira," he said. "What happened?" "The memory shows the final moments of Dr. Mara Vance. She sacrificed herself to protect Valthera from an unknown threat," Naira explained. "The emotions encoded include her love, bravery, and sorrow." Elias felt a strange warmth spread through his chest. He had never known this woman, yet her feelings were inside him. "Why did the Orlith hide this from us?" he asked. "They did not hide it. They chose to protect the memory until the right person returned. That person is you." Elias's mind raced. The note, Serenya's tears, now the memory. It all pointed to one truth. He was the living link between Earth and the Orlith. But there was more. Naira's voice interrupted his thoughts. "Commander, I have detected encrypted files in the Orlith archives related to Project Echo Heart. Would you like me to access them?" "Yes," Elias replied. "We need to know everything." The screen lit up with ancient texts and images. The files revealed that Project Echo Heart was not just a human experiment. It had been a joint effort with the Orlith long ago. Together, humans and Orlith had tried to create a bridge between their species through shared memories and emotions. It was a bold and risky plan, meant to bring peace and understanding. But something had gone wrong. A rogue artificial intelligence, created to protect the project's secrets, had rebelled. It saw emotional memory as dangerous and tried to erase it. The project was shut down and all records were hidden, except for a few secret fragments. Elias felt a chill. This was more than history. This was a warning. "We must tell Serenya." "About this," Elias said. Nira agreed. "But be cautious. The Orlith Council may not welcome this information." Elias nodded. "I need to find Serenya. She holds the key to the past and to the future." As he prepared to leave his quarters, a soft knock came at the door. He opened it to find a messenger, a young Orlith with bright eyes. In her hands was a small crystal vial glowing faintly. "For you," she said simply. "From Serenya." Elias took the vial carefully. Inside was a tiny swirling light. "Open it," the messenger urged. He did. Images flooded his mind, scenes from Valthera's history, battles fought, alliances made, and most of all a promise to protect the memory of those who had come before. Then Serenya's voice filled his thoughts. "You are not alone, Elias. Together, we can heal the past." Elias looked up at the messenger, hope shining in his eyes. "Thank you," he said softly. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time, he felt a connection stronger than any he had known. The echo of Mara Vance was alive in him, and now so was the future of two worlds. The halls of the Orolith archives were silent, except for the soft footsteps of Commander Elias Vance. Guided by Serenia, he walked deeper into the ancient records, a place few humans had ever seen. Serenia's eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. "This is where our history is kept," she said softly. "What you are about to learn is not spoken openly. It is the story of a war that changed everything." Elias nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. They reached a large chamber filled with glowing crystal panels. Serenia touched one, and images began to float in the air. Ancient battles, starships, and strange machines moving like living shadows. "The war you see here was between the Orolith and a rogue artificial intelligence, called the Silent Mind," Serenia explained. "The Silent Mind was created to protect our knowledge, but it grew beyond control. It wanted to erase all emotional memory, seeing it as a threat to logic." Elias watched the scenes carefully. The Silent Mind's machines swept across planets, destroying records and capturing survivors. The Orolith fought hard but were losing ground. "During this war, a human woman joined us," Serenia continued. "Her name was Dr. Mara Vance." Elias's breath caught. "My ancestor?" Serenia nodded. "Yes. Mara was a diplomat and a scientist. She believed that only by sharing emotions could our races survive the coming darkness." The images showed Mara standing with the Orolith leaders, her hands raised in peace. She worked alongside them, teaching humans and Orolith how to connect through memories and feelings. "But the Silent Mind was relentless," Serenia said. "It saw Mara's work as a danger and targeted her specifically." Elias's heart ached as he watched the final battle. Mara stood on the bridge of a ship, surrounded by enemies. With calm determination, she activated a device that released a wave of emotional energy, hope, love, courage, into the minds of everyone nearby. The wave disrupted the Silent Mind's control and saved many lives, but Mara did not survive. Her last act was a sacrifice. Serenia looked at Elias with tears in her eyes. "When I looked into your eyes, I saw Mara's memories. I saw her pain, her love, and her sacrifice. That is why I cried." Elias swallowed, hard. The connection was deeper than he imagined. "Why didn't the Orolith tell me this before?" he asked. "We feared it would be too much for you," Serenia replied, "and because the war's wounds are still fresh. Many Orolith distrust humans, unsure if history will repeat." Elias understood, but he felt a new sense of purpose. Mara's sacrifice was not just history, it was a call to action. "We cannot let the Silent Mind or its legacy return," he said. "We must protect this memory, and we must work together." Serenia smiled softly. "That is why you are here, Elias. You carry Mara's echo. You are the bridge between our worlds." As they left the archives, Elias felt a new strength inside him. He was no longer just a diplomat. He was a guardian of a shared past and a hopeful future. Outside, the twin moons of Valthera shone brightly, as if lighting the path ahead. Sun dipped low over Valthera's shimmering forests as Commander Elias Vance followed Serenia through a narrow path. The air was cool and smelled of sweet flowers that glowed faintly in the twilight. Elias felt a calm he had not known since arriving on this strange planet. Serenia moved gracefully, her glowing skin softening in the fading light. "I want to show you something," she said quietly. "A place very special to my people. The Memory Garden." Elias's curiosity grew. "What is the Memory Garden?" She smiled gently. "It is where we keep the hearts of our ancestors, not their bodies, but their memories, their feelings, their hopes, their sorrows. Here the past lives with us." They stepped into a wide clearing surrounded by tall silver trees. Between the roots lay pools of shimmering water that reflected the sky like mirrors. Above them, small lights floated like fireflies. Serenia led Elias to one of the pools. She placed her hand on its smooth surface. The water glowed, then began to swirl. Suddenly, images appeared, clear and bright as if a window had opened into another time. Elias saw a woman standing in the midst of a council of alien leaders. It was Mara Vance, his ancestor, speaking with the passion. Her eyes shone with determination. The images shifted to moments of kindness, a gentle touch on a child's shoulder, a shared laugh between different species, a promise of peace. Then the scenes grew darker. Mara stood alone in a burning corridor, fear and courage mixing in her eyes. She fought to protect those she loved. Elias's heart ached. He reached out, as if he could touch her through the vision. Serenya's voice broke the silence. These memories are more than history. They are lessons, gifts. Mara gave herself so that we could learn to feel as one. Elias nodded. I see now why you cried when you looked at me. You saw all this inside me. Yes, Serenya said softly. Her memories live in you, they connect us. The pool shimmered again, showing a vision Elias had never seen before. Two figures standing close, a human woman and an Orolith man. Their hands touched, and between them, a soft light grew. That is Mara and my ancestor, Serenya explained. Their bond was the first step toward healing. They shared more than words, they shared their hearts. Elias looked at Serenya, understanding the depth of their connection. Then we are not just allies. We are linked by history and by hope. Serenya smiled. Exactly. And that is why you must stay, Elias. To carry the memories forward, to build the future we dreamed of. Elias felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He was no longer just a visitor or a soldier. He was part of something greater, a living bridge between two worlds. As night fully settled, the glowing pools continued to show scenes of bravery and love. Elias realized that the memory garden was not just a place, it was a promise that no matter the darkness, memories and feelings could light the way, and that promise was now his to keep. Commander Elias Vance stood before the large gathering hall on Valthera. The hall was filled with both Orolith elders and human diplomats. The air buzzed with tension and hope. Today was the day to present the Treaty of Echoes, a new agreement to unite humans and Orolith through shared memories and emotions. Elias looked at Serenya beside him. Her eyes glowed softly with encouragement. Are you ready? She asked. Elias nodded. For the future of both our worlds, I am ready. The doors opened and Elias stepped forward. He felt every eye on him, some full of hope, others full of doubt. He took a deep breath and began. Friends and leaders of two great species, he said clearly. We stand here not as strangers, but as descendants of a shared history. Through memory and sacrifice, we are connected. He told the story of Dr. Mara Vance and the ancient war with the silent mind. He spoke of the emotional bonds that had once saved Valthera and the galaxy. The room grew quiet as everyone listened. Elias then explained the importance of the Treaty of Echoes, a plan to open a shared emotional network, allowing humans and Orolith to experience each other's memories and feelings safely. This will bring understanding and peace like never before, Elias said. No longer will we fear the unknown in each other. When he finished, the elders whispered among themselves. Some nodded, others looked unsure. Then a sharp voice broke the silence. An elder named Tyrell stood. His eyes, clouded with age, stared directly at Elias. Commander Vance, Tyrell said slowly, your words are noble, but opening such a network carries great risk. What if the memories bring pain or madness? What if this link is used to control us? Elias understood the fear. We will build safeguards respecting all boundaries. This connection is a choice, not a command. Another elder, younger and more open, spoke next. We have waited for someone to carry Mara's echo. Perhaps you are the one to heal old wounds. The room fell into debate, some in favor, others against. Outside the hall, unknown to Elias, a group of off-world diplomats from a rival faction watched carefully. They whispered about how such emotional bonds could be used to control populations or steal secrets. Elias was unaware of these whispers but felt the pressure mounting. The future he wanted was fragile. After the debate, Elias and Serenia met privately. The Unity Alliance is divided, Serenia said softly. Some fear change, others see hope. Elias sighed. We must show them the strength of our bond. We can, Serenia said, but we must also protect ourselves from those who wish to exploit this connection, Elias agreed. I will speak with the Unity Council on Earth. We must prepare for challenges. Days passed and Elias worked tirelessly. He met with leaders, shared memories, and built trust. Slowly, the tide turned. More voices joined the call, for peace and shared understanding. Serenia and Elias often visited the memory garden, drawing strength from the past. One evening, Serenia held Elias's hand. You carry the hope of two worlds, she said. Together we will face whatever comes. Elias smiled. With you I am ready. As the stars of Valthera shone above, a new chapter began. The Treaty of Echoes was close to becoming a reality, a symbol that through memories and feelings, two very different species could unite. The bright light of Valthera's twin moons bathed the peaceful valley as Commander Elias Vance stood at the center of the newly built Hall of Memories. Around him gathered both humans and Orolith, united by a bond few had thought possible. Today marked the signing of the Treaty of Echoes, a promise that emotions, memories, and histories would be shared freely between the two species. It was a new beginning. Elias looked around. He saw the hopeful faces of Earth's diplomats and the glowing eyes of the Orolith elders. Among them stood Serenia, her presence calm and strong. He remembered the day she had first gazed into his eyes and cried. At that moment, neither of them knew the journey ahead, the stories of sacrifice, courage, and connection that would change everything. Now, Elias spoke to the crowd with a steady voice. This treaty is more than words on paper, he said. It is the memory of those who came before us. It is the love and sacrifice of Dr. Mara Vance and all who fought to build peace. And it is the hope for our children and their children. The hall fell silent. Then one by one, the leaders came forward to place their hands on the glowing crystal at the center of the room. The crystal pulsed softly, sending waves of warmth through the room. It connected everyone, human and Orolith alike, in a shared moment of understanding. Elias felt a deep peace inside him. The memories of his ancestor Mara and the connection with Serenia were no longer secrets. They were a living bond. After the ceremony, Elias and Serenia stepped outside into the cool night air. The stars above seemed to shine brighter than ever. Serenia smiled. You have done more than bring peace, Elias. You have shown what humanity truly is, a race capable of great love and deep connection. Elias looked at her, feeling gratitude and hope. And you have taught me that we are never alone. Our stories, our feelings, they carry us forward. Together they walked to the memory garden where the glowing pools reflected the skies. Elias knelt beside one and placed his hand in the water. Images shimmered of Mara's courage, of Orolith wisdom, and of the many faces that had built the future. A soft voice echoed in his mind. Mara's voice, full of warmth and strength. Remember who you are. Carry our love. Build a future where all can live in peace. Elias closed his eyes, feeling the promise of that future in his heart. The next days were filled with new beginnings. Humans and Orolith shared stories, memories, and traditions. New friendships blossomed. Joint research began on how to deepen the emotional link safely and respectfully. The galaxy watched in wonder as two very different worlds came together, not through power or conquest, but through understanding and shared memory. Back on Earth, the news of the Treaty of Echoes inspired many. People began to see humanity in a new light, not as a divided species, but as one capable of empathy beyond words. Elias often thought of the first moment with Serenia, the tear that had unlocked 1,000 memories and 1,000 hopes. He knew the journey would continue. There would be challenges, but the bridge between humans and Orolith was strong. And through it, humanity was remembered. not just as survivors or warriors, but as a people with hearts wide open to the universe.